Come on in. Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name is Katie O'Neill and I am over the moon excited about this video. Of course, you can always find me at 303-562-8659 if you'd like to have your own custom ordered Newmar. Today we're bringing you a really cool product. This is a 2025 Newmar New Aire, and this is a custom ordered coach for Randy. We spent a lot of time looking at a coach that we had in inventory and just really felt like we wanted to have this two-tone cabinet color combination. We were kind of specific about the flooring that we'd like to have, so we decided to stop what we were doing and instead of taking the deal, making the deal and allowing him to order exactly what he wanted. So please, Jody, as usual, take it on back. I always come to you live on Mondays. We do 5 RV videos a week. And on Monday, I can bring you what I call the RV's Inside Out segment. And the reason I do this is because if I don't like the interior of the coach, the inside is the most important thing. The outside, of course, they're all the same. So this inside is where you can really customize these RVs. So this is the Sedona wood trim. This is in the suede finish. It's really supple. It's very soft. This is the new interior. And in 2025, there weren't a whole lot of big changes for the coach, but the two-tone wood combination, new cabinetry, is a really big deal. So you'll see we've got beautiful sconces on either side of this bed. These, of course, are flanking a 72 by 80 RV King. One of the unique features to the New Aire, of course, is that it is a bonded window coach, just like that of, for instance, the Essex or the King Aire. This is the baby King, right? So you'll notice you've got these black trim aluminum faces on the inside of the window. That's because this is a bonded window coach. So you have this really cool headboard with this great amount of light coming in, not just from the sides, but from above the headboard as well. You still get all the functionality of your over cabinet storage. There is a 110 outlet in this other cabinet. There's 2 of them actually. If you can't see them, trust me, they're there. But the most important part is that there's a grommet here. So if you wanted to drop down a cord, for instance, for your iPad or for your laptop, so that you could charge your device while you were sitting in bed watching TV, you could do so. At the nightstands in 2021, we started doing this cutout right here above. So now you have your 110 outlets in here down below. And there's now a Type-C and a Type-A USB port in this outlet. So you can actually charge something and then run it out of the cord, or run the cord out of the cabinet with the cabinet closed, still keeping your sultry novels and your water bottles next to the bedstand, but also having the ability to run a cord out. Now where that comes into play is some people have CPAP machines, and some cardiologists like to have you have your CPAP machine down below your heart as opposed to above. So you've got this great space on both the front and rear side of the bed, where you can put something down on the ground and store something, and you can also have access to a plug. Now, as you'll note, there is a lesser amount of storage under the bed here, but we do have our 2 inserts. These all together make just under 2 feet of extended table space, making this a great coach for entertaining. And then also, one of the things that we ordered into this coach, so Randy does a lot of videos in this coach. So we have Starlink. Now the Starlink isn't just good for this television, right? So your 43-inch flat screen TV, super nice feature. Hulu, Netflix, you know, YouTube, watch me there. It's so weird to see myself on television. For all of you watching me on TV, hi, it's really weird. But anyhow, so it's super nice to be able to have that availability. So we don't have any satellites on top of this coach. There's no traveler system, you know, for Dish or DirecTV. It's all Starlink, and in fact, we'll run a Starlink probably through the base. So we have a tripod setup where you've got that mobile one for the resident style, and we also have the roof-mounted, you know, professional-grade Starlink on this coach as well. So this coach is going to be able to be very dexterous. It can go anywhere in the country and get great coverage, even if there's trees, because you've got that remote, you know, portable Starlink outside of the coach that you can set up if you're under a tree-lined forest. Now, one thing I wanted to point out about this coach, I really love the way the ceiling looks. Now, as you can see, it's curved, right? So they've really been able to integrate this beautiful decorative ceiling cover that covers your air conditioning vent. And you can see all of the cool backlighting. So there's a wood panel, then there's your leather wrap, then there's another wood panel, then there's your leather wrap, and then there's another wood panel, all with this accent lighting down below. Just really adding to this level of decadence in this coach. And with the cathedral ceiling, you can see this feels like a really big bedroom. And keep in mind, this coach is 35 feet 10 inches. So that's a good time for me to segue into the specs. I've realized in doing this for the last 5 years, I'm almost at 300 and some odd videos. Sometimes I forget to go over the tech specs. And so for those of you that haven't tuned in, I probably have a dozen Newmar Aire videos out there. They're all great to watch. But let me just review some of the things I forget to mention. 105 gallons of fresh water, 60 gallons of gray water, 40 gallons for your black water tank. This coach has a 90-gallon fuel capacity, a 15-gallon def tank. And then really importantly, so we talk about this Mountain Air a lot. In fact, when Randy came in to order the new Aire, we went back and forth a lot about whether or not a new Aire or a Mountain Air would be more appropriate. But he only needed the 10,000 pound towing capacity, and it's just him and potentially a new dog down the road. So when he's on the road working, he doesn't need a whole lot of extra space for a second person, so this is more than enough room. And this coach has a 226-inch wheelbase, so if you're doing business in Los Angeles or San Diego, you know, it's really different than being out in the desert or maybe up in the mountains where you have larger parking spots. So 226-inch wheelbase is actually about 20 inches less even than the Mountain Aire with the tag axle. So super great ability to have agility in a park. And then this coach also has a 4,650 carrying capacity. So 4,600 pounds of stuff that you can bring with you and still have a 10,000 pound towing capacity. So that's pretty impressive. And it's really how we made the choice to go with this new Aire. Some things that were important though, we really liked this new cabinet tone, and we did a lot of special orders. So in the two-tone cabinets, you would normally have a white headboard above this bedroom set. And I think that it's really important. It's kind of weird to have white where you've got all this brown, and then over here you would have all this brown again. So I tend to take out the white cabinets and make them all uniform in the bedroom, or I make them all Summit in the bedroom. So the Summit is the name of the color for the white cabinetry. And if you make it all white, you can take a look at a Mountain Aire video that I did where we did it all white. It's very bright in the bedroom. If you want something a little more sultry, a little more dusky, this would be a great way to go. In my last Superstar video, we did a special order that had the Summit, actually it had sable, and so it was super dark in the bedroom. So you'll see back here we have this great safe. As you can see, this safe is actually mounted into the wall. So this 16 on center residential style construction that Newmar does with aluminum C-channel allows us to run wires through the coach, right? Because there's little holes in all of the aluminum C-channels, making it more rigid and also better for being able to pre-wire all of the different electronics going through the coach. But it also allows us to do things like weld the safe into the sidewall of the coach. These windows are all welded into the sidewall of the coach, so they're not set and floating on foam. There's no vacuum bonded foam on this coach. This is actually 16 on center aluminum C-channel with batt insulation and residential style construction. Even the trusses above my head are aluminum. And if you haven't been to the Newmar factory to watch the manufacturing product or the manufacturing of this product, you're really missing out, because it's really what makes the difference. So when you know you buy a Newmar, and the construction of this coach is way more important than the decoration of it, but the decoration of it is superior. So all of that stuff being said, and here you'll notice that we also have our shoe cubbies back here, which is a really nice feature. Being able to look in this cabinet without the painted wood, you can see how beautiful this maple is. These are all solid maple cabinets. And then you'll note that on these fold-out chairs, we actually have full leather in our coaches now. So in this new Aire, there's no longer a synthetic leather being used on your furniture. It's actually a full leather. So if you do get a dog, it's going to wear just a little bit better. So here in the back, we have our Splendide washer and dryer. Great feature of this coach is, of course, just being able to dry your towels after you get out of the shower. And then it also makes for a very nice hamper. Keep your darks in one side, your lights in the other, and whichever one fills first is the one that gets run. Another great feature of this coach, of course, is that we have these nice adjustable cabinets here. So as you can see, our television, if you wanted to have a Blu-ray player, if you wanted to have a PlayStation 5, you could put any of that stuff in here. You could even just fully remove this cabinet. But you also have some nice carpet-lined storage down below. And again, solid maple cabinetry without. Another great feature of this coach, though, is that you have this really sexy LED lighting built in to your ceilings in different places. So above the bed liner, above this slide, you still have a few puck lights, but the lighting in this coach is really, really fantastic. And as you can see, we've got reading lights on either side of this bed, but because of the fact that Randy does so much business in his coach, he'll probably also be making YouTube videos. We were able to design some special lighting in that couch area. So he's gonna really use this coach for both off-grid fun and then also for in-city work. Now I'm sitting on one of the best features of this coach, a nice place to put your socks and shoes on in the morning when you're getting ready for work. Also, as you can see, full extension, dovetailed drawers, very, very nicely located above your dresser or under your dresser. And then your dresser has this opening window. So in 2023, Newmar gave us the ability to open these bonded windows. And as you can see, this is automatically screened. This is a great feature for this coach. And then down below, look at the size of these full extension drawers. They're huge. So really, really big drawer storage. I do want to just check and see if this one clears. Okay, so this one's shorter so that it doesn't have to clear the steps. So you'll have two very large drawers and then one that's just a bit shorter, but still fantastic drawer storage throughout the coach. And then they do great little things where they put in these little areas here, a Type-C, a USB, and then also two 110 outlets underneath here. So as I mentioned earlier, great storage here inside of this coach. And then I'm going to switch places with Jody. I'm going to go underneath and come on over. Jody, you can go on that side. And we're going to talk a little bit about storage. So when you bring your coach and you're stowing at your side, you have your in and out button here on this control panel. Here below you have all of your lighting. You have your shades. So if you wanted, for instance, to do your bedroom night shades, you just push one button, everything goes down. So if you're storing your coach and you want to keep that sun out, you want to keep the heat out, these are really nice shades. And as you can see, they automatically go down and they automatically go up. And you can control all of these with this nice touch button here. Now, or touchpad here. Now here also you've got your fan control. So kitchen, master bath. And then you can see that you can turn those on high, medium, or low. Then you have your systems control to turn your water pump on and off, and that's throughout the coach. You can access this. Your monitor panel here is telling you what kind of voltage you have coming into your chassis batteries. Now this coach has the extra lithium ion battery to it, so it's got 960 amp hours of battery. As you can see, it's 100% full of fresh water, and then 1% gray and 4% black, so you know how much water storage you have. And then down here, we've got our windows and awnings. So if I want to put my awnings out in my bedroom, for instance, I can do all of that right here with my, and I'm sorry, this is in the living room, not in the bedroom. But I'll put that one out. I'm going to put the one above the dresser out in just a few seconds. I can hear it. Just so you know, one of the tricks with these is they're hard to see when you're setting up for your displays, but you can hear them powering out. And what's nice about these awning systems is these are on the starboard side of the coach. So you have one on the port side and two on the starboard sides. But these are that high-end, really nice Girard awning package, as well as the Girard window awnings. And you have to get down pretty low to see it, but what it does is it gets you sun protection in the summer where you wouldn't normally have that sun protection in on the starboard side of your coach. So if you are boondocking and it's starting to get hot in here, you've got two air conditioners. They're both 15,000 BTUs. They do have heat pumps. And then here on this floor, which is the King Air tile, and this is a heated floor. So you've got heat pumps, you've got in-floor heating, which is electric. You've got your hydronic heating system. And then you also have your regular furnace. So you have a whole bunch of different ways to heat this coach. That hydronic furnace that you're using is going to have vents throughout the coach. So you'll see them, for instance, here in the bathroom. That heating system, if you're boondocking, can be run off of the diesel without actually having to have your coach plugged into 50 amp. Your air conditioning, normally you would have to be plugged into 50 amp, but because this coach has a second inverter, it can actually run the central air without being plugged into a 50 amp plug. So you can run this air conditioning overnight. So if it's hot, you'll be able to get that nice cool effect while you're sleeping. Now here in the mid bath, another great feature of this coach, of course, is it comes with an egress door. So if there is an emergency and you need to escape, you can simply leave here and you take off this metal cover, and I'm going to leave it off until after the video. I'll put it back later. But as you can see, you can deploy this ladder and you can restore the ladder. So you can deploy the ladder and escape, or you can just use this simply to dump your laundry out after you get done with your camping trip. So that's a very nice feature. Another great feature of this coach is that when you get into this new Aire, you have the full tile surround. So look at how beautiful this textured tile is. If anyone's built a house in days of late, you know that this is a really nice trend in the marketplace. Also, this very attractive shower system, and this is a really high-end German manufacturer, so no expenses spared here in this coach. Another great feature though is there's a place here to put your razor, and you also have your body wash, your conditioner, and your shampoo already mounted into the coach, so you don't have to worry about that tipping over while you're driving. Another great feature of this coach, again for boondocking, the Shower Miser water saving system is going to be this little guy right here where you can actually switch this over to recycle. And when you do this, your Oasis dual loop Chinook hydronic system, which is heating both your coach for the hydronic heat, but also giving you tankless hot water, it actually circulates the water out of your 105 gallon fresh tank back into that fresh tank. This is a great way to give the coach a little extra heat in the winter time, right? Because you're heating 105 gallons of water underneath the coach, keeping those bays just a little bit warmer. It's also really nice though because you're not using that 60 gallon gray water tank until you're actually taking a shower. So you'll see this little light here turn to red when the water's warm, and that means it's good to come in, and as soon as it's good to come in, you'll put this back and then the water will start coming out of the faucet head and back into the shower. Now, if you do this when you're plugged into city water, you're going to flood your tanks and you're going to see water seeping out below the coach eventually. When you see that, it's because you're basically sucking water out of a tank, replacing it, and then trying to put it back in and there's no room. So just be cognizant that that's how this works. This is a real glass shower door. I actually have this on my Superstar. It's super nice. It stays shut. It's also very insulated. It's actually echoing in here. So it will keep that cool air out when it's cold and you're taking a shower. And then after I put down this teak bench, I just want to point out this beautiful linear drain that you have down below. And so like I said, this is a very high-end coach. There's a robe hook right here. And then of course with these Summit two-tone cabinets, just having this nice white cabinet in here really opens up this space. And then you have two 110 outlets over here in the medicine cabinet, a ton of storage in the center, so midship. And then one of my favorite features of this coach, I really love the new Aire tile. So this is aluminum surround on the outside, but even around each individual glass tile, there's this beautiful aluminum look. And with the sparkly grout and these beautiful countertops and this really decadent glass undermount sink, it just looks lovely in here. And as you can see here underneath, lots of storage. So you've got plenty of room for all of your towels, all of your linens, more outlets here. And then the in-mirror lighting, I think, gives it just that extra boost because you've got your vanity lights over top, but then you've also got your in-mirror lighting. And all of those control panels, once again, are right here in the center of the coach. So you can access your water pump and all of those things without having to leave the coach. Now, when I close this, here, Jody, let's trade places. He's gonna do his best to stay out of the mirror, which is funny, but I'll do it this way. There we go, Jody. We won't torture you today. Sometimes I like to play catch Jody on camera. But you still have your full length mirror, and I think that that's so fantastic. So let's move here into this kitchen area. One of the nice features of this kitchen is going to be, look at all of this beautiful white cabinetry, really giving you that extra pop of bright. It makes it look a lot less dark in the coach. That was actually a big deal for Randy. And it has a great pantry in it. So even though this coach is little, she's mighty. So these are push to release full extension drawers, solid maple dovetailed once again. You don't get the full 6 of them in the new Aire, you only get 5, but that's because they've given you this great storage down below. Now I did take the liberty of moving over one of the slides just to show what pan storage could look like in there. And then in 2023, they came up with a new refrigerator for this coach. It's just a 19 cubic foot, a little bit bigger, a little higher end. Again, you know, this is the Samsung. You get the Whirlpool normally, so everything is upgraded in the new Aire, of course. As you can see, it does not have any handles on it. It also has a really deep refrigerator and some nice melted ice there underneath. We must have been running the ice maker to test that. This coach delivers on, slide that to lock it. There we go, it's locked. This coach delivers on Friday, so we're kind of in the middle of our pre-delivery inspection. But I wanted to be able to show this to you before it takes off. You'll see we have lots of nice little smart controls. You can make popcorn. You can do a slim fry. Again, all Samsung in this coach. This is a really big convection and microwave oven with an air fryer. So that slim fry, of course, would be great for making French fries or tater tots. But below this, one of the things I wanted to point out is I love this gorgeous herringbone tile. It's absolutely decadent. And then again, I mentioned we had that extra window option. So again, another opening window with a built-in screen. The shade for this is right here underneath. Of course, those are those power shades, so you'd have day or night shades. And then this white Summit kitchen cabinet is not only just bright, it's also very roomy. As you can see, lots of room here for plates and dishes. If you wanted to keep a coffee maker up here, you could remove this shelf. For us, we use a kettle and we use a French press, so we don't actually have a coffee maker that we need any longer. We've just decided we like French press better. But there's really nice storage up here for all of your dishes. And then look at all of this counter space. So there's a ton of room here. If you did have a coffee maker, you've got an outlet here and an outlet here. You could have a toaster oven. Again, this high-end German faucet has got both spray and pour feature on it. And then you have this really cool round sink. It's got this special detail on the edges. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous execution. Your scrubby drawer is right here. Your under cabinet storage is right here. But check this out. There's a place here to keep your stove covers. And then your trash can is on a slide out here. So this is so nice that you have access to everything. Uh-oh. That was going to be funny on TV, huh? Okay, another great feature of this is way more drawer storage than I have in my Superstar. Look at how deep and wide these are. You could really easily keep all of your kitchen towels, you know, all of your spatulas, all of your silverware here in these drawers because they're just huge. And then we still have a dishwasher in this kitchen. And again, with this being 35 feet, 10 inches long, it's just super impressive how much they've been able to pack into all this little space. Now you'll see there we've got some Girard awning controls. This is for your outdoor awnings. You've got your TV controls. You've got your fireplace controller. That's right, this coach has a fireplace. You've got your Bose soundbar controller. This is for your flag. So if you've got a flagpole mounting bracket. These little plugs actually go in the water bay outside. As I mentioned, this coach is kind of mid PDI. And that's pretty impressive. So this coach has not been through anything other than what we would call the inspection side of the PDI. No repairs have been made yet. And so the way that we work here at Transwest is we'll actually have a technician that spends about 8 hours going through the coach, testing to make sure the ice maker works, testing to make sure the refrigerator is getting cold, the heater's blowing heat, the air conditioner's blowing cold air, you know, making sure all your touch pads work, checking all of your shades. I know that a few of these shades need to be what they call re-rolled. So as opposed to you coming into Transwest and going, oh, this isn't working, we try to really get in front of everything for you. And we do not only a full-fledged PDI on the house, we also do a full-fledged PDI on the chassis. So After your coach comes here, there's a technician that verifies all of your fluids are correct, makes sure that your generator runs appropriately, and then we even do an alignment. And there's not a lot of stores in the marketplace that do both a chassis and a house PDI for you. Now here on the back side of these covers, we have our cutting boards, of course. And one of my favorite things about this True Induction cooktop is the fact that it is so precise at its cooking temperature, even at altitude. So you can take this outside and cook with it on a picnic table outside. Of course, because it's magnetic, you don't have to worry about the wind impacting the flame and how hot the stovetop is getting. You also, because it's not flame driven, you don't have to worry about how much oxygen that flame is getting to get that great heat. And then on top of it, when I went in to buy my cooktop for my house, I asked the guy for the best stove with the best cone, and I wanted the best heat. And he showed me this great stove, and we kind of came up with the whole kitchen set. And I said on my way out, I said, you know, I sell RVs and I really like the induction cooktop that we have in our RV. And he stopped me and he took this pot of water out, and he put 3 quarts of water or 3 cups of water in a pot and put it over the open flame. And then he took 3 cups of water and put it onto induction cooktop. He put a paper towel down on top of the cooktop, and he boiled that water at about 1/3 of the time that it took to bring the other water to boil on this stove that had the ultimate cone power. So super fast. And when you're using electricity, when you're using fuel, when you're using something to generate energy in your coach, the faster you can get to that cooking point, the more efficient you're being. And this cooktop is super efficient. Now, I don't put a paper towel down on top of my True Induction. I actually use a little silicone mat that I can put on top of it. And I use all-clad copper core pans that have copper that go all the way to the edges. But in doing that, I keep my cooktop like spotless, and my pans are spotless. So much cleaner cooking, and again, much faster heat transfer. Now here in the center of the coach, this is a really nice place to come in and see how to make everything work. So we have our awnings already out. We can adjust all of our lighting. We can go into our lighting and we can go to the reading lights and make sure we turn those on so that we can show those. And then we have our bathroom lighting, our bedroom lighting. So everything's here, all of our exterior lighting. And as you can see there, under lights, you have an all lights on and all lights off switch as well. And then here you can see all of your power. So here's your water capacity, here's your house battery, here's your chassis battery, here's your AC power, here's your DC power. So as you can see, we're filling that battery up right now. We've got our generator running. We could start it and stop it from inside. Our water's full, or black and gray, you're just a little tiny bit in there. Our climate control is on because it's hot. Our block heater is off. You can see how much charge we have in our battery. We're at 258 out of 960. The client came in, Randy came in this weekend. I think he left the house battery on. He hasn't gone through orientation yet. We'll show him how not to do that in the future. But we got that battery already up and running, and as you can see, it's going up pretty quick. We're running the generator right now. Oops, go back. No, we're not going to turn it off. You can turn your batteries off there. We're not going to do that. But this is one of the things that's really nice. Active camping, and then you can set out coach mode. So you could set it out. We are currently outdoor and we are unplugged. You could do outdoor plugged in, indoor plugged in. So you can set this coach automatically by your coach mode. You don't have to even be smart. It just does it all for you. Here's that 3-zone climate control. And then as you can see, you have store, and then you have 1 through 5. Oh, 1 through 10. Sorry, some of the times they're 5. And just so you know, when you have this heat on, it's not turning it up to a temperature. So what it's doing is when you set it up on the ultimate setting, like 10, what you're setting it up to do is you're having that electrical pulse go through the floor more frequently, bringing that temperature up faster or keeping it up higher. It's not bringing it to a higher temperature. It's not like putting your heated seats on high in your BMW. It's going to be a little bit different than that. But what's really nice about it is you can heat this coach silently without running that hydronic heat, or without running your heat pumps, or without running your fireplace. So the fireplace puts off a ton of heat. It's attractive, it's beautiful. One of the things Randy and I discussed was turning this white or leaving it Sedona. He opted to keep it Sedona. And then as you can see, adjustable shelves, great place for all of your beer steins, coffee mugs, a nice, you could put all of your, you know, good scotch down below, have a nice dry bar. And then above or below that, you've got this great fireplace. And I love this little drawer here because this is a great place to keep all of your remotes, right? And another place to keep a sultry novel. As we mentioned before, hydronic heat's gonna come out of these vents. And then here we have our kick plate for our central vac. And over here, one of the great features of this coach is it has this little ledge to make sure that if you do have an oopsie, you don't have to worry about it spilling then onto your couch. It's gonna run it off the edge of the couch. Now, one of the nicest things about this dinette area is actually the way that these seats have this nice cozy curve into them. These are really comfortable for sitting in. And I really wanted to kind of highlight the amount of room that this coach has. Like I said, we went back and forth. We were offering a really good deal on a coach that was in inventory. It was aged, but we were able to come to terms and still make it an attractive sale price for Randy. And that was important. He really was very particular about the things that were important for him. And one of them was having this booth dinette opposed to this couch. So this is a huge couch. This is a really nice sleeping area. And then if he is going to do YouTube video interviews, you can set everything up on this table, have everything facing that direction, and then interview people for his job right here at this window. And as you can see, that's also another opening window with that built-in screen. So another place where you can get fresh air into this coach. But this is such a big space. Now, of course, this is opposing a 50-inch flat screen TV, which comes up out of the televator. And then as you'll note above this, we have that Summit cabinetry, making it really, really beautiful. But if you wanted to have extra company, this table is, first of all, not only is it big, it's super wide. I mean, you could have a smorgasbord here and 6 people very comfortably sitting on this table. Now there is a little leg that deploys underneath. It's magnetic. Can I get to it from here, Jody? Let's see if I can get to it. So usually I just give it a little bump. It's not bumpable. That's there. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Little bump. So anyway, so this comes down and of course sets it so that you've got support underneath the table. You put that back up. It magnets into place and then you can stow everything. Another great feature of this coach, of course, if you're going to be running audio video stuff out of this area, you're going to need to have outlets. So in this side panel here, you do have, again, USB type C and A. And then you have more storage up here. And I do note that there is a lot going on with this coach underneath that back panel. So it's not the full look, but of course that would look really silly to have small little cabinets. So I love the way that Newmar does this. They kind of change that fascia and they give the facade of having these larger cabinets so that you've got kind of a more homogenized look. And then above this, of course, you've got your nice sound bar. And then underneath here, if you wanted a place to keep all of your electronics, you could keep all of your, your files, all of your paperwork here, and then a nice place to keep your laptop, maybe some charging cables, maybe your camera system. So really cool storage on both sides of this booth as well. And then I want to show this bed transformed. And I put the recliner out here. I think we don't cover the fact that with this recliner, I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could really have 6 people over for dinner. You could turn this one and have 7. And really have everybody have a nice, comfortable place to sit. Now, if you know me, I'm really a big fan of connected cushions. They stow so much easier. And again, if you can't feel this because you're on the other end of the camera, I'm gonna tell you from a tactile perspective, this leather feels very durable. It feels very strong. And I think that that's just such a nice feature of this coach. And then as you can see here, look at the size of this bed. Uh-oh. Put your legs out, Katie. There we go. This is a huge sleeping surface. So if you do have company over, maybe you've got an extra glass of wine or maybe a little extra cognac after dinner, you have plenty of room to have somebody spend the night. And there's a number of different ways to approach this. I guess if there was 3 of you, you could just all sleep here. That would be weird. Don't do that. Jody gave me the head nod. It's pretty funny. So yeah, so lots of room here. Great opportunity to show you outlets on either side once again. Another easy to get to control panel. Some awesome storage up top. Another, again, if you're working out of this coach, lots of room here to keep extra supplies. And then a special order that we had come in with Randy on this coach was to put the reading lights that would normally be above the recliners above the couch, because if he wants to sit up and read at night, he wanted to have a direct reading light, a little extra visibility. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with how these coaches are made, you can see this cutaway here. So there's the subfloor of this coach. That's the Luan wood that this tile is mounted to. This furniture is not resting directly on the floor. This is actually a huge advantage to you. Keeps the rattling down, keeps the tile popping from happening and occurring in the coach. And the way that Newmar makes their floors is really unique. They are not part of the production where they're going down the production line and there's some guy, you know, putting tile on there and hoping it all sticks together really good with grout issues. These floors are actually built separately from the coach. They are laid out with all the electrical components that we use for the 3-zone electric floors, heated floors in them. Then they're baked on a controlled environment table. So they're in a room with a controlled temperature, and they're baked on this sheet with a controlled temperature as well. So they're cured so that you won't have tile popping, so that you won't have grout issues, so that you won't have in-floor heating issues down the road. And that's a really big deal. And then they lift them up and they put them onto the subfloor of the coach. And when they're adhered, they're on top of it's like a 3-inch thick subfloor to this coach. And it's giving you a quieter ride going down the road. It's getting you better insulation for cool in the summer, going down those hot pavement roads, and better insulation in the winter, keeping your coach warmer with, again, less fuel, less energy to keep this coach heated. Now, as I come up here to the front, we've got some nice little, features. Just a little tiny lip here if you had a wine glass. Another one here if you had a wine glass. So, for somebody who's sitting here, let's do a real recliner. And, I don't know how many of you have recliners at your house, but I don't think a lot of people have recliners that are heated, because this is a heated seat. So I could put the other one down. I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna throw my pillow. And I could put the tilt back. But as you can see, just a nice feature to have recliners here in the front. Super comfortable. So you can order the couch in this new Aire and still have 2 recliners in it. Theater seats are hugely popular. This coach has both. Here are your controls right here. Heated seats, 6-way power seat. You've got your tilt. You've got your, your recliner feature, and then this little guy over here is the release for twisting or turning that seat around. And so when you turn this around, when you get to this point right here, if you're me, it doesn't make much of a difference because I'm vertically challenged. But for a dude like Randy, it might be a little bit too tight to get that chair around. So you can move the seat up and down. The one thing I want to make sure we're careful of is we want to make sure that this chair is going to clear the slide for when we bring it in. And over here, there's a little guy you step on, and that allows you to bring down your steering wheel. And one of the things that's really unique about this coach is the fact that this says Freightliner. So this is the Freightliner chassis, which means it has a 60-degree front wheel turn. So really, really agile turning radius. Again, that super short turning radius. And then on top of it, it's got an independent front suspension. It's got brake sync, which is going to be when you, so we've already installed the tow package onto Randy's Jeep. He came in and had that done in advance of picking up his coach. But as you can see, you have the 60-degree turning radius, right, in the wheel cut. It's the tightest in the industry, as it says right here, and that is true. Brake sync, which is going to be what allows you to run your Blue Ox system with Air Force One, syncing up your tow vehicle so that you can actually brake in unison with a coach. And then I can have my TPMS sensors to my Jeep showing here on my dash. Drive Tech, and so that's going to be all of your steering wheel controls here. Super easy to use. And then Road Watch, which is going to be your ability to run distance-based cruise control. Your Mobileye will tell you if you're out of the lane. And then V-Ride, and so V-Ride is basically, instead of having your suspension here in the middle, it puts everything to the outside, so you've got a more wide, staunch support. And then this has all of the different ratings for it on your coach. So Allison 3000 6-speed transmission, 90 gallons of fuel, 15-gallon DEF tank. So all of this information is available on these nice sheets, and then there's a little bit of a read for each one of them if you're interested in having me send over these spec sheets for you. Another thing that we have access to that I like to read before I do any of my videos is any of the product changes that you have. So you know, for instance, that the X monitors are now underneath a single piece of glass. Now, if you've watched my last 6 videos on sold orders, I talk about this in every one, but there used to be a little cut here. There's not a cut there anymore. This coach also has the actual the 360 camera system. It's an optional feature on this coach, and you can see I've got that rear I've got my engine cover up, but you can even see the little drainage gutter on the side of the coach. So you can imagine if you're pulling into a parking spot and you're looking to see whether or not you're going to hit a picnic table, you can aim. No, don't aim. That's not good. Not a lot of new stuff. As you can see, you know, blind spot detection has now made it optional for the 2025 New Air. There's a new option for Starlink Internet. But everything, you know, if you're ever curious as to what you get in a coach, I take a lot of notes. I try to know more than anybody that's shopping with me about the RVs. And, you know, I know that sounds silly, but I feel like, I don't know that all of us are as invested in making sure we've got great product knowledge. Let's put it that way. Push button start. Super nice. Maybe. There it goes. I remember the London Aire that wouldn't turn on, and it was in like 2020 when I first started making videos. It was so embarrassing, and all I had to do was put the key up next to the fob, and then it would have started. And of course, in the video, it didn't start, and everyone was like, "Oh, look at you selling broken coaches." Oh, it was awful. So one of the redesigns that they did with this is they put your DEF sensor here in the front, so you can see full DEF, full fuel. You can see all of your air pressure, so you know that you've got, you know, enough air, so your suspension's going to be rocking good. Of course, if it's in that red zone, you shouldn't drive yet. It'll make a loud noise. We've got this set up right now where we've got the speed on the center control, but you can really change all of this stuff out. You can run your steering effort, so you could change your comfort drive. In fact, I'm going to change that right now. I'm going to put it up. I like it towards the top end. So you can change your comfort drive here. You can check your fuel economy. Your Mobileye, this is pretty funny. So this is that little guy right here, and it's part of your lane tracking package, which is on. You can see it's on right here. That Mobileye, this morning I took the coach out, drove it around the block just to make sure I was all aired up and ready for the video, and it buzzed me in the butt, and it went ding, 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 because I wasn't like in the lines. You could turn that off, just so you know. Oops, I just went out of my menu again. Let me go back into my menu. All right, so Road Watch, of course, this is gonna be your distance-based cruise control. And then here we have our tire pressure. And so it's really nice. You can see what the tire pressure is here for all the tires on the coach. You can also see the temperatures. We're in the sun over here. Oh, check fob. My clipboard's on top of the fob. And then you've got your lock and unlock is all on a nice key fob here. And also you have the ability to to put your tow vehicle, so it will also display right here in the same center. Your trip computers, you can set those separately, of course, especially if you're billing. And then under vehicle settings, if you wanted to, for instance, change your dash brightness, you could do that. If you wanted to have like Canadian, so you wanted to have kilometers instead of miles, you could do all of that right here. So all of this stuff is really easy to get to, and as you can see, diagnostics you can run from this coach. And that's something that Freightliner has really worked towards, is being able to allow you access to Freightliner custom chassis. So FCCC is a 24/7 system where you can actually go on the app and you can call in. You can have them do diagnostics for your chassis on the road. But what's really important to understand is they actually answer the phone 24/7. So we have Bill Habercorn. Bill Habercorn is a six-figure dude who knows everything about RVs, and you only get access to him if you purchase a coach from us here in Colorado at Transwest. He's priceless, honestly. I always tell people when they call in, if they're having an issue, have you talked to Bill yet? And oftentimes after talking to Bill, they don't call me back. They've already got their problem fixed and they keep camping. But FCCC is a really great feature for anybody driving a coach that's made by Freightliner custom chassis out of South Carolina. Another benefit to that aspect of the coach, they're not manufactured in Mexico. They're made in the U.S., so you're supporting a U.S. market. So really cool features there, but being able to do diagnostics with your coach over the air is a new feature that, you know, everyone's working towards in their cars, and now we're doing those things in our coaches as well. Now you'll see here, I have my engine brake on and off is set right here. Now this is a 450 horsepower engine. It's at 8.9 liter ISL, 1,250 foot-pounds of torque, but when I turn my engine brake on, you can see it shows right there. So everything is right in front of you. You don't have to look around a lot. And then as you can see here, if I put my coach into, oh, let's go back out of this menu. If I put my coach into drive, it's gonna show you right here that I'm in drive. And if I put my coach into reverse, it's gonna show you that I put my coach into reverse. And then it's gonna make that noise so I can tell that there's someone behind me. If I put my turn signal on, I guess I have to turn my brake off, but I'm not going to do that. Oh, there it goes. If I put my turn signal on, it's showing behind you, but you can look at the color and the clarity of these cameras is so much better than they used to be. And then the menu control is also way better because I'm able to see the little van driving by behind me. While I'm looking at my radio, my media center, I can set my Bluetooth up. All of these things, navigation can be running on one side while I'm actually using my rear view camera. So I can be driving down the road and still have my turn-by-turn directions all in one screen. Visor and shade controls are all here, your docking lights. This high, medium, low for fan, I'm gonna turn that off. We've had the heat on the whole time, Jody. He's like, gross. He gets so hot. This is for your Oasis system. So this is actually running your heat. If you're running your overhead fans, that's this guy here. So this is actually to run the heat for your coach out of the front. Lock and unlock. Air horn is that one versus park horn. Courtesy lights, and then visor controls. Air conditioning, heat, drawer storage for your Pradas, for your Maui Jims. And then over here, you'll see some other cool features. Automatic headlights, it's about time. And then auto dimming headlights as well. And then fog lights. It's nice to have fog lights if it's foggy out, right? Cup holders, power window, right? So some fresh air going down the road. Power chrome convex mirrors that are heated. You can turn that off. And then your HWH hydraulic leveling system. So this is your same system that you're gonna be using that gives you the ability to have an all tile floor as well. So HWH is powering your leveling system, and it's also powering your full wall slide on this coach. I'm not gonna put this down over there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn this bad boy off. It gets a little bit loud when I'm walking outside with the generator and with the engine on, so we're gonna stop both of those things. But I do wanna bring the driver's side slide in. So here's that hydraulic slide. You can see it lifting up. And this is not a full wall slide, I shouldn't have said that. It's a, this is a triple slide coach. And super robust. So lots and lots of strength going into these slides. And I'm going to show you the other slide in. So we'll show you with the passenger slide in because I want to show you the walking space in this RV. But I'm not going to leave it in. I'm actually going to put it back out so we can show you that full paint finish on the slides when you're outside. And also the accessibility you have underneath the coach. So here we go. As you can see, I have total access here to get all the way through. I can still run my vacuum hoses here. I can open my refrigerator. I can go to my bathroom. I could take a shower. This coach is a coach you could actually pull over at a rest stop, take a few hour nap, and then get back on the road and start driving, and still have the ability to make full use out of your kitchen, have a bowl of cereal, and then get back on the road. So very nice feature there with this amount of room. And as you would not be able to access your fireplace. I know, what a shame. I don't think I need my glasses anymore. I always need my glasses. Getting old, guys. I just turned 50. Oh my gosh. Okay, up here above, you can see this is where we were operating this. It's the slide controls here. Passenger side, slide out, out. Pretty good. Put that back out. Up here, the BMS battery power on and off. If you needed to reset your battery management system, you could do it from the inside of the coach. They moved that over because in like 2021, it was outside, so it was raining and you needed to reset your batteries. You had to go out in the rain. It kind of pissed people off. This is a little diagnostic port here, security lights, miscellaneous equipment. This is going to be your router, your entry step cover light, exterior LED, your privacy drapes for the front, which are also down below, your awning for the door, and your light. And then this is going to be your Razor. Oh, I'm sorry. This is your Razor antenna. We got 13 stations. Is that what I read here? I feel like we don't get any stations in this parking lot. 15. And then let's go ahead and see if we can catch this out today. Oh, I don't have the generator on, do I? Here we go. Got to start the generator again. This is one of the nicest features. You can just start the generator from right inside of the coach. This is an 8 kilowatt quiet diesel generator for the record. Gotta give it a few seconds. So you guys, if you ever turn your generator on and you go to turn your awnings or put your awnings out and they won't go out, one of the things you have to do is you have to wait to hear that like little sound from your microwave, and then when you hear that, that means the juice has made it through. There's enough power there. There it goes. To put your awnings out. It's kind of fun. You can hear everything coming awake. I don't know if I'm getting them out or not. Let's go out here and see, Jody. So on the way out, we're going to show you the step cover. And there's a wireless charging dock on both sides. Yep. Oh no, I just have the awnings out. So it's okay. We got a wireless charging pad here as well as at the driver. We have an oh shit honey, you lost the Jeep camera. My friend Joe said you shouldn't say it like that. That's such a negative. And I was like, no, if your Jeep comes loose and it's on the side of the road, it's not a negative to know that. It also means you didn't attach it correctly. So make sure you're buying your tow package from us here at Transwest so we can give you good lessons. But man, oh man, how nice is it to actually know that your Jeep is no longer behind your vehicle because you can see it in the camera. The step cover, of course, it's so funny. After doing 500 billion videos, you stop saying things that are important. But for a lot of people, they're like, oh shit, how do you like not fall into the hole with your little white dog? There's a nice step cover there. This is not the queen seat. This is the regular size passenger seat. So plenty of room for a human. The reason we like these is because when you put these armrests down on either side, it's actually a little bit more natural for you to sit. So we can lock and unlock all of our baggage doors here. We could use the key panel out here. And then here we could store, if you did have a nice dog, you could put dog food down here and still fit some hiking boots and also leashes and maybe dog dishes all right there next to the door. And then one of the new features they added for this year is an all lights off feature where I can turn all the lights off in the coach before I hit the road. There's my doorbell. So yeah, so I wanted to have this out just so you could see how they color match the paint all the way to the slide. So even when the slides are deployed, you've got that really nice color matching. And then here you can see the 3 opening bonded windows. And the reason that you have so much light and visibility in this coach is because you have these side corner windows on all the slides. So that window opens, that window opens, that window opens. That's 4 windows just on one side of this coach. And I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you buy an RV and you don't have the window package and your windows don't open, they don't open. So it is, it's all important. It's important to get the right RV. I didn't put that awning out, but as you can see, these are the day shades. They make a huge difference on this coach. And then when I close this, your step retracts. It's got this nice chrome out matching line all the way down. That was actually one of the things that Randy called me and he said, Katie, I think I want the chrome trim on my baggage doors. I said, no problem, let's do that. Here's that full wall slide here. So again, this full wall slide is on the starboard side, and then on your passenger side you've got two, so this is a 3-slide mid-bath coach. Again, I know we talked about fuel capacity earlier, but 90 gallons of fuel. It is a dual fill. These are really nice docking lights. Your Alcoa rims are, of course, aluminum, high polished aluminum rims. And then one of the nicer features of this coach, again, is that independent front suspension that you get when you get that Freightliner package. And then here is a ton of storage for a tiny RV. It's really quite exciting. And one of the things you can do is you can opt to choose where you're having your full slides. So this compartment's pretty hard to get into because it's so narrow. So we went ahead and opted to have this full slide here. But as you can see, you lose quite a bit of space underneath, right? So there's like about 2 inches shorter when you're on this nice track. And so if you want to have all the space and all the height in this center suicide section where you've got these suicide doors, you don't have to put slides in everything. You can put them in whichever bays you think are most efficient. And again, this bay is really hard to get to the middle in because it's only a 3/4 slide or 3/4 tray. So we went ahead and put this one in, but we left the center completely open so you would have that extra height. And then you can slide bins in. And if you've ever done the bin trick, the big deal is after you put your bin in, if you put a tether on the top of the bin on the 2 corners, you can set it so you can pull it out and you can slide it all the way back, and you can actually use this full storage capacity and then just pull on that cord to pull it out. So very, very cool system here. LED lights, as you can see, illuminating this interior. And then over here you can see this star foundation. So the star foundation stands for strong, true, and robust. And this is what brings this coach up off of the chassis rails and gives it all of the extra road quiet that you have going down the road. It's what supports that floor of ours. And this coach is 12 feet, 10 inches tall. Where do I have that? Okay, 35 feet, 10 inches long, 12 feet, 3 inches exterior height. So this is a really petite coach, a little bit shorter for those of you who didn't build the right garage. But really quite a lot of room for a tiny little coach, and it still has a 7-foot, 9-inch interior height. So another 43-inch flat screen. You've got your remotes out here for this TV and also another Bose soundbar, and then charging for your electric devices so you can get some juice into your phone outside. And then here in this compartment, we have the brains of the operation. This is one of the features that's new for 2025. This is a really nice power management system. You can get into all of those breakers, you can do all of your diagnostics, and there's also an outlet. There's 2 110 outlets here that are grounded, so if you wanted to run a Starlink port through, I think this is the bay I would choose to run that exterior Starlink port through. 6 tires total on this unit, not 8 like you would have with a tag, so a little savings there. Nice compartment for storage right here. Great place for an Outlander fire pit. And I mean, Jody, I know you're in the sun. I'm not. I'm in the shade. I love these outside awnings, and they have LED lights built into them, so you're creating also a patio effect on the starboard side and the port side of your coach, which is super nice. So this should look a little bit different for you. Just a simple on and off with some chassis batteries in the back. Freightliner is a really big fan of having you come in and have your chassis service done at a service center. There's so many of them across the country. There's over 300. They have 11 parts distribution centers, including the Mexico plant. That is so much more than their competition in Spartan. So, you know, Daimler is a huge company. Of course, that's part of Mercedes-Benz. We are a Daimler Elite service facility here, but because of their huge network, they also have great R&D. So they do a lot of research and development. So Freightliner Custom Chassis isn't just building RV chassis. They are also building school buses. They're building FedEx trucks. They're building UPS trucks. So it's a really robust amount of support that's available because it's a really large organization. Now, Oasis is that dual loop Chinook we talked about, is your hydronic heating system. That's the fluid that is in that 8-gallon reservoir that is being boiled and then sent through a tube throughout the length of the coach. There is a dual loop, so it goes one direction and the other, giving you more control over your heat. But as you can see, beautiful marriage of that 8.9 liter Cummins to the Freightliner chassis. That Cummins engine is all red, and then of course your chassis from Freightliner is all black. And it's a pretty cool way that they put all of this together. And as you can see, everything is very easily accessible on this tight little coach. And then here in the back, this is that brake sink. So your brake sink's built in, it's already lined. All you need to do is get the Air Force One, which of course we already did that for Randy, your 7-pin connections here. Now this has got a 500-pound down weight, so this is not a great coach for like a stacker. It's got a 10,000-pound flat toe. And then right here is your rear view camera. And then your side cameras, let's see if we can find one for you to look at. For your overview, there it is, right here underneath this, this docking light on the port side, next to your egress door. So again, 360 cameras, but how nice is it to have that shade there over your couch area so that you're keeping the sun out of the coach right now. You can see it's really making a big impact into that area. Now, of course, this is a side radiator unit, so you've got your side radiator right here. And then over here, we've got our DEF filling station. This is a dual fill. It's a 15-gallon DEF tank. Oh, it's single fill, I'm lying. Single fill. It's on the right side though. This is the side that you would want to have it on, I think. And then this little water bay here has SaniCon. And then as you can see, they've got the hose there for the water fill. And those were the 2 stoppers I mentioned that were inside. You can clean this bay out and then you can put those plugs in to keep any kind of water from dripping out. You've got a hot and cold shower outside. And there's a temperature monitor inside of this bay now that was not there before. And then another nice feature that they added was the gray tank rinse, because gray tank water is gross. So you can rinse your gray tank out, not just your black tank. Gray tank water's got like body juice and bacon grease and it's gross. Rinse out that gray tank. Here's that dual loop Chinook. Loop 1 and loop 2. Diagnostics easy to read right there in the front of this coach. You also have your cable inlet here. Your central vac is up here, so you can vacuum your dog, vacuum your coach, vacuum your husband, whatever you want. You've got a surge protector, and then your power cord is on a power reel, and the reel is right here. The fancy people get the power cord on the reel on the door. If you're a peasant like me, you have to reach down and push the button. I know, it's a hard life. There's the other side of that full pass-through. So again, full pass-through storage, and that is of course because this is a diesel pusher. You've got your generator in the front, you've got your engine in the back, and one of the best features of having that set up that way is if it's really hot and you don't have a full charge on your batteries, you can run your generator and take a nap, and you're not going to hear that while your air conditioning's on full blast. So that's very nice. Here in this bay, you can see that second inverter, and you can see we've got our fans going there. It's keeping that bay cool. That second inverter is dedicated only towards the central air conditioner. It is not used to power anything else. I get a lot of people who are like, oh, could I use that inverter for this or that? No. So if you're running your cooktop, if you're running your like a hair dryer, your washer and dryer, you're not going to be able to use that inverter for extra juice. It's only for the air conditioner. And then this is the exciting part. This is where you see 960 amp hours of storage. So Lithionics, of course, has a battery management app that you can use if you're not using the Newmar app. In this compartment here, you could keep your need some gloves, an extra gravity hose if you needed to. And then, as I mentioned earlier, dual fill fuel. And then up here is where you have your release for your generator. Do I see it, Jody? Oh, here it is. Oh man, that's tight. Hold on. I'm not, you guys, I swear I'm really strong. I lift a lot of weights. Okay, I think I got it. Let's take a look and see. Oh, yep, it's already up. Side camera, chrome convex mirrors, turn signal indicators, really bright lights. In 2023, we changed our lights, so not only are they automatic, but they're also better visibility at night. Fog lamps down below, as you mentioned. Really cool glow, so people can see you coming. You can also turn your generator on and off right there. So again, quiet diesel generator, your air horn, all of the access right here. And then when you put this down in front, you've got this beautiful New Aire logo. And this is unusual for us. This is the silver birch graphics. When we were looking through this, Randy and I had talked about special ordering a color, but he's like, I like that silver birch. I don't think I need to special order anything. So this is a standard graphics package from Newmar. It's not a lot to special order it, but why would you do that? And again, this is silver birch. The Pearson decor is what you saw on the interior. And then again, those two-tone cabinets. This is stock number 5N250094. Again, 5N250094. This coach was ordered sometime about circa January. So I know it was ordered in 25. It was the 94th coach we ordered. So pretty quick turnaround time. Get exactly what you want. Call me, let me help you walk through and make sure you're not missing any options. My name is Katie O'Neill. I'm coming to you live from Transwest. You can reach me at 303-562-8659. Let me know how I can get you out on the road and camping. Thanks for tuning in.